Closed captioning is brought to you by Insect Defend Patch. Deep-free protection from biting insects.
Here we are on New Brunswick Day, held every summer during a long weekend, right in the middle of summer. St. Stephen, New Brunswick for our International Lumberjack competition. St. Stephen is also noted to be Canada's chocolate town. We are headed into the hot saw here at the Lumberjack competition, and we are on a home stretch run for the end of the competition. Right now we got Marcel Dupuis, who's in the running to win the overall Lumberjack of the day, taking on Scott Reed, who now is building his own hot saws.
And hot saw, of course, it's loud, it's fast, and we have a deep field today.
Looks like Marcel's into the wood a little bit slow. Scott got into the wood a little bit slow as well. Now Scott's bogging down. Marcel's going to win this heat. He does, and sets a time at 8.81. Scott Reed pulls the saw out, a little bit frustrated. So a number of issues there. Number one, tell me about your saw. I mean, you just built it, right?
Yeah, I built it trying to get ready for the Eastern Canadian qualifier. I didn't quite have it done in time, had it running the day afterwards. So far I've had 3 successful runs in it at competitions out of 4 competitions that I've attended. And today I had some issues. Right now I have a broken pipe, and the pipe was only being held on by 1 bolt, and my carburetor decided to fall off today because I didn't have time to tighten nuts.
Hey, well, hats off to Scott Reed for building his own saw, getting the saw here at the competition, but my goodness, take a couple of extra minutes to tighten the nuts up on the carburetor so it hangs in there, and maybe you can finish the cuts. This next heat, Donald Lambert taking on Mario Bourque, 8.81 time to beat.
Mario knows he's up against one of the best in the business, and Donald Lambert is going to be going for it here. The pressure's got to him. He missed his first cut. He missed his second cut.
Donald Lambert wins the heat, lowers the time to beat down to 5.31. So you were telling me that the log wasn't trimmed quite straight?
Well, it was trimmed a little bit sideways, so I have to pay attention to set myself properly and put the saw on the log properly too.
So most important is you notice that beforehand so you can make adjustments accordingly.
Exact. Well, I could ask to square it, but well, I knew that I could saw like that.
Vince Maciel, arborist, live in West Tisbury, Massachusetts.
Hi, my name is Paul Woodland. I'm from Benton, New Brunswick, and I'm a logger.
Well, that 5.31 set by Donald Lambert is going to be tough. These guys are going to go through 14 inches round, 3 cuts, all within 6 inches. Away they go. Both guys into the wood. Vince ahead at this point. Both guys flawlessly through the...
Vince misses out of the second cut. Paul wouldn't have a hard time with the third cut. Oh, what a mess in the hot saw in this heat.
We've had a couple of people with short bars, you know, and the second cut tends to want to push you out, eh?
Yeah, no doubt about it. When I came here, I actually have a CR250 over here at the car that I would normally run in a piece of wood of this size. The height of the stand is about 36 inches to the top of the wood. If you look at the width of the bars, that's a long ways to hold that saw up, and you'll see that in the next run. It's really hard to get that saw that high. We run a lot of chainsaws. This saw cuts very well in big wood, and I usually use a little longer bar, and you can see I got pushed out just a little bit. The bar was a little too short. So I was able to go back and fix my mistake, but it cost me a lot of time. But you know, I've learned. I've lost a few races that way.
Well, if you look closely at that replay, you can see that Vince finished his second cut, which is supposed to be an upcut. He finished with a downstroke after getting pushed out on his second cut. Should have been a DQ. Nonetheless, Vince Maciel gets a time. Last heat of the hot saws, Moyle Conrad take on Simon Bertrand. Still, the time to beat is 5.31.
Simon Bertrand, he builds these things for a living. Big Moyle Conrad's ahead of him now. Oh, and he breaks his cookie.
Moyle's going to end up taking a DQ. You had him by a mile there, buddy. What happened?
My motto, hero or zero. I just always go for it, Boyle, and you either win or you lose it. Right?
So your first cut was a little bit thick, which gave you, but you're running out of space?
I thought I had enough, but I must have had the hand a little too much and saw it went a little bit sideways, and stands are very high today. Good for me, but the other fellows, but I had, just wasn't in my saw, wasn't in the books. Wasn't in the books, we'll say that.
A lot of operators commenting on the flaw in the design of how tall those blocks are, but Don Lambert having no problem laying down a 5.31, taking first place in the hot saw.